The Chickasaw are an indigenous people of the southeastern woodlands in the United States with their ancestral lands, spanning across northern Mississippi, northwestern and northern Alabama, western Tennessee, and southwestern Kentucky. Their language belongs to the Muskogean language family, linking them to other southeastern tribes. Today, the Chickasaw Nation is a federally recognized tribe primarily based in Oklahoma. The Chickasaw people have a deep-rooted migration story, tracing their journey from lands west of the Mississippi River to present-day Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. Throughout their history, they interacted with European colonists, including the French, English, and Spanish. Although they adopted many European-American practices, the Chickasaw fiercely resisted encroachment on their lands. Despite their efforts, they were eventually forced to cede their territory through the Treaty of Pontotoc Creek in 1832, and relocated to Indian Territory, now Oklahoma, during the 1830s, as part of the broader Indian removal policies. As one of the 5 civilized tribes, the Chickasaw played a significant role in early American history. They were known for their strategic alliances, often supporting the British, and later the United States, in conflicts such as the American Revolutionary War. Their resilience, adaptability, and strong cultural heritage have allowed them to endure centuries of challenges. Today, the Chickasaw Nation remains one of the largest and most influential Native American tribes, preserving their traditions while embracing modern advancements. The Chickasaw people have a rich and vibrant culture, deeply rooted in their traditions, language, and social structures. Their society was historically organized matrilineal clans, meaning that family lineage was traced through the mother's side. This structure helped maintain a strong sense of community, with extended families playing a vital role in social organization. The Chickasaw were also known as fierce warriors and skilled hunters, traits that contributed to their reputation as one of the most formidable tribes in the southeastern United States. Language remains a cornerstone of Chickasaw identity. The Chickasaw language, part of the Muskogean family, is closely related to Choctaw, but has distinct features that set it apart. Efforts to preserve and revitalize the language have been a priority for the Chickasaw Nation, with language programs, educational initiatives, and digital resources, helping younger generations stay connected to their heritage. Chickasaw cultural expression is also evident in their arts, music and dance. Traditional stomp dances, storytelling, and bead continue to be significant aspects of their identity. The Chickasaw also celebrate their heritage through festivals, such as the Chickasaw Annual Meeting and Festival, which bring together community members to honor their history and traditions. Despite historical challenges, the Chickasaw people have remained resilient, ensuring that their cultural practices are not only preserved but also thrive in the modern era. Their commitment to education, economic development, and cultural preservation highlights their enduring strength and adaptability. Throughout history, the Chickasaw people have demonstrated remarkable resilience and adaptability in the face of adversity. From early conflicts with European settlers to forced removal and the challenges of modern society, they have continually found ways to persevere while maintaining their cultural identity. One of the most defining moments in Chickasaw history was their forced removal to Indian Territory in the 1830s as part of the Trail of Tears. Despite immense hardship, they successfully re-established their government, economy, and social structures in what is now Oklahoma. Unlike many other tribes, the Chickasaw negotiated their own removal terms, which allowed them greater control over their future. This ability to adapt and navigate difficult circumstances is a testament to their strength as a people. In the modern era, the Chickasaw Nation has embraced economic development as a means of securing self-sufficiency and prosperity. They have invested in businesses, tourism, and cultural preservation, creating opportunities for their people while strengthening their sovereignty. Programs focused on education, healthcare, and language revitalization ensure that future generations remain connected to their heritage. Despite the challenges of history, the Chickasaw people continue to thrive. Their commitment to cultural preservation, economic independence, and community development reflects their enduring spirit. By honoring their past while embracing new opportunities, the Chickasaw exemplify the strength and adaptability that have defined their nation. For centuries, the Chickasaw Nation has long understood that cultural preservation is essential for maintaining their identity and ensuring the survival of their traditions. Through language revitalization, historical documentation, and community engagement, they continue to strengthen their cultural foundation while looking toward the future. One of the most significant efforts in preserving Chickasaw heritage is the revitalization of the Chickasaw language. Recognizing that language is the heart of any culture, the tribe has developed programs to teach and promote its use among younger generations. Language classes, digital resources, and storytelling initiatives help ensure that Chickasaw remains a living and evolving language, connecting present-day citizens to their ancestors. In addition to language preservation, the Chickasaw Nation invests in the arts. Music and traditional crafts, cultural centers and museums provide spaces where people can learn about Chickasaw history, witness traditional performances, and participate in hands-on experiences. Events such as the annual Chickasaw Festival celebrate the nation's rich heritage while fostering unity among its people. Looking ahead, the Chickasaw Nation remains committed to economic and social growth while upholding their cultural legacy. By balancing modernization with tradition, they have created a sustainable future that honors their past. Their ongoing efforts in education, business development, and governance serve as a model of resilience and self-determination, ensuring that the Chickasaw identity will continue to flourish for generations to come. The Chickasaw Nation stands as a testament to resilience, adaptability, and cultural pride. Throughout history, they have faced immense challenges, from forced removal to periods of economic hardship. However, their unwavering determination has allowed them to not only survive but thrive, preserving their traditions while embracing modern progress. At the heart of the Chickasaw Nation's success is a deep sense of identity and unity. By prioritizing education, economic development, and cultural preservation, they have built a strong foundation for future generations. Their investments in language revitalization, historical documentation, and community programs ensure that Chickasaw heritage remains alive and accessible. Moreover, their commitment to self-governance and economic independence has empowered them to shape their own destiny. Beyond their own community, the Chickasaw Nation serves as an inspiration to Indigenous peoples everywhere. Their ability to balance tradition with innovation showcases the strength of Native resilience. Whether through the revitalization of their language, the success of their businesses, or their contributions to the broader society, the Chickasaw people continue to make a lasting impact. As they move forward, the Chickasaw Nation remains dedicated to honoring their past while embracing the opportunities of the future. Their enduring spirit ensures that their culture, values, and contributions will continue to shape not only their own people, but also the world around them for generations to come. The Chickasaw people had a long history of contact and conflict with European powers, beginning in 1540, when Hernando de Soto's Spanish expedition became the first Europeans to encounter them. While initial interactions were limited, the Chickasaw later developed strong trade relations with English colonists from Carolina in the late 1600s. This trade partnership provided them with firearms and other European goods, which strengthened their military position in the region. During the 18th century, the Chickasaw allied themselves with the British and frequently clashed with French forces and their Choctaw allies. These conflicts were part of a larger struggle for control over North America, as European powers vied for dominance and sought indigenous allies to support their ambitions. The Chickasaw's strategic location and military strength made them valuable partners for the British, allowing them to resist French expansion into their territory. As European influence grew, the Chickasaw continued to align with the rising power of the United States. They supported American forces in key battles, including the Battle of Fallen Timbers in 1794, which helped secure US control over the Northwest Territory. They also played a role in the Creek War of 1813-1814, siding with the U.S. against the Red Stick Creek faction. Through these alliances, the Chickasaw demonstrated their adaptability and determination to protect their sovereignty amid ongoing European and American expansion. Facing increasing pressure from the U.S. government, the Chickasaw gradually adopted several European, American customs to preserve their autonomy and adapt to changing circumstances. One of the most significant shifts was their transition to agriculture-based living, moving away from traditional hunting and gathering practices. They began cultivating crops such as corn, beans, and cotton, integrating European-style farming techniques to sustain their communities. Alongside economic changes, the Chickasaw also experienced a shift in cultural and religious beliefs. As Christian missionaries arrived in their territory, many Chickasaw people converted to Christianity, adopting new religious practices while maintaining aspects of their traditional spirituality. Churches and schools were established, further encouraging the assimilation process. European-style housing replaced traditional Chickasaw dwellings, reflecting the tribe's efforts to align with American societal norms. Despite these adaptations, their lands remained under threat from American settlers encroaching upon their territory. To mitigate conflicts and protect Chickasaw land rights, the U.S. government constructed Fort Hampton in Alabama in 1810. The fort served as a defensive outpost against unauthorized settlement and helped maintain peace in the region for a time. However, as westward expansion intensified, government policies increasingly favored relocation over protection, ultimately leading to the forced displacement of the Chickasaw people under the Indian Removal Act 1830. While the Chickasaw adopted many European, American practices, their resilience and commitment to their heritage ensured the survival of their identity despite external pressures. Throughout the late 18th and early 19th centuries, the Chickasaw faced increasing pressure from the U.S. government to cede their ancestral lands. The Treaty of Hopewell, signed in 1786, marked one of the first major agreements between the Chickasaw and the United States. While it formally established peace, the treaty also defined territorial boundaries that significantly reduced the land controlled by the Chickasaw. However, as American settlers continued pushing westward, new agreements were forced upon the tribe. One of the most impactful land cessions occurred with the Jackson Purchase of 1818, in which the Chickasaw relinquished vast territories in Kentucky and Tennessee. This agreement was heavily influenced by political and economic pressures, as the U.S. sought to expand its agricultural economy. Although the Chickasaw retained a small reservation, they were no longer allowed full autonomy over their land. Instead, they were forced to lease portions of it to European, American settlers, further diminishing their control over their own territory. These treaties reflected a broader pattern of forced removals and land dispossession faced by many indigenous nations during this period. While the Chickasaw attempted to negotiate terms that would allow them to maintain their sovereignty, each agreement ultimately resulted in further erosion of their lands. The continued loss of territory and the inability to fully govern their remaining land foreshadowed the devastating impact of the Indian Removal Act of 1830, which would lead to their forced relocation to present-day Oklahoma. The Colbert family played a significant role in shaping Chickasaw history, particularly during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. Their influence began with James Logan Colbert, a Scottish trader who settled among the Chickasaw in the early 1700s. By marrying into high-ranking Chickasaw families, he gained respect within the tribe and helped facilitate trade and diplomatic relations between the Chickasaw and European powers. His descendants would go on to become some of the most prominent leaders of the Chickasaw Nation, blending European and indigenous traditions to navigate the rapidly changing political landscape. One of his most notable sons, William Major Colbert, became a well-respected warrior and leader. He was instrumental in guiding Chickasaw military strategy and maintaining alliances that protected their sovereignty. During the early 19th century, as conflicts between Native American tribes and the expanding United States intensified, William fought alongside Andrew Jackson in the Creek War 1813–1814, a crucial conflict that ultimately weakened the Creek Nation and solidified Chickasaw loyalty to the United States. His leadership was recognized at the highest levels, and he was commissioned by George Washington, further demonstrating the important role the Colbert family played in Chickasaw in American history. Through strategic marriages, military service, and political alliances, the Colbert family ensured that the Chickasaw remained a formidable force in the southeastern United States. Their legacy continues to be remembered as a key chapter in the tribe's long and complex history of adaptation and resilience.